Hello, teacher besties. Welcome to Childcare Unlocked. I'm your host, Amira Mone, and this is the first episode of the podcast. I am so excited. I wanted this episode just to be an introduction of me and how I got into this education game. In this education game, I am a 21-year-old majoring in business administration and management. And you may ask, if you're majoring in business, why exactly are you talking to me about education? Good point. But I want my business to be in childhood education. So I want to create an enrichment center. So when I say enrichment center, people usually say, oh, a rec center? No. I want to create an enrichment center so it will be enriching passions that children come in with. So it'll be music lessons, budgeting classes, therapy, tutoring for math and reading, stuff like that. So in a school structure, usually is very structured. I know, at least when I was in school, it was chorus and art class for performing arts, but that's about it, like in a public school. So I'm not sure if any other schools had or offered different performing arts classes or something that it was less structured, but me personally in my school, not necessarily. So it had chorus and arts. So I want my enrichment center to be able to just really enrich passions that children have outside of the structure of school and be able to just have a place to really know what you're doing, right? Because we read to our children, we say to our children all the time, you can be whatever you want to be when you grow up. You can be a firefighter, you can be a lawyer, a doctor, this, that, right? The list goes on. But how? Okay, how? So we often say reach for the skies. You know, the sky is the limit. But nobody ever says how. How do I become a lawyer? How do I become a doctor? How do I become these things? So once, especially when you get out of high school, you're at that 18 plus age range, and it's like, woo, now I'm in a rat race of just trying to pay these bills on time, and these dreams are still on paper, and I never get to experience what I once really, really wanted to do. So I want my enrichment center to really just ooze those ideas, those dreams, that validation of bringing in people to tell you what you need to do. School, do you need to go to college? Do you need to go to a trade school? How long do you need to be in school? What things do you need to do after school, to actually reach this dream that you have? Do you have trainings that you have to do after school? Do you have teaching hours that you have to do before you're able to be a teacher? Like stuff like that. So like a complete map of how do I become a lawyer, because a lot of people is hands off, especially after high school. But like, just help me, okay? Help me. And that's really the idea. As of right now, I haven't really expounded too much on that idea, but that's really the goal behind the enrichment center. And where does my passion come from? I feel like my passion came from, one, how I grew up, and then two, at the specific center that I'm working at now. I grew up very Black education centered. Black education centered, okay? Very just know your own history, very representation matters. So that's where minority or Black education, that passion came from. And then for working in the center that I am at now, I do work primarily with babies to 3 years old. So it is an early childhood education position, but I have been up to pre-K. And let me tell you, these children are something else. Okay, they are something else, but I love every child that I have came across. Okay, I'm not a parent myself, so I can't relate to some things, but just my direct experience with other people's children. But I have seen children like not struggle, but have challenges extremely early. And the thing about it is, when you think of the importance of education and when it actually matters, it's sometimes kind of too late. And people really don't take it serious until your pre-K kindergarten age of your 5 to 7. Those pre-K kindergarten age levels, right? So when I am communicating with a family about, maybe a behavior or like a goal that we want to meet, right? It's more of the idea of, let children be children. Do you really expect that from, a younger child? So like a toddler or more of a toddler. We're talking more of a toddler age, even though babies can be turning pages and doing all the things, right? But this specific conversation, I am talking about toddlers. They can be great. Oh, they can be great if we just let them and we stop limiting what they can and what they cannot do and what you think they should do and what they shouldn't do. And especially with speech, because I think the quicker that we notice it, because one, yes, not all children learn on the same level, but once you are going past a certain time and they're still not reaching this checkpoint, then it's time to have a conversation and be like, okay, what can we do different? What can we, enhance? What can we do more consistently to help with this communication difficulty, right? Because once they go into the pre-K and especially kindergarten, because you're in the school system, the classes are bigger. And then there's just one teacher. In a daycare setting, you might have more than one teacher. Most likely you have at least 2. And if your child is not communicating properly, I personally have a fear for them. As soon as you go into the school system, they will eat you up. And I am literally terrified for them because positively or negatively, they cannot communicate that with you. So lo and behold, especially with all this stuff that's be happening in the world, like I just want the children to be able to communicate whatever they need to communicate positively or negatively that's going on. Because just please, just please, because I just don't want anybody to fall through the cracks because of a situation in the journey that wasn't taken seriously enough. So I don't know if I answered my own question, but that's where we're going with that. Where does my passion come from? Where did I start? Honestly, I just started. Truly. I have pushed in my 3rd year in the specific childcare center that I am currently working in. The only other direct child engagement I have had is with my younger brother, but he's 10 now, so it's been 10 years ago. And then I was a camp counselor through Girl Scouts. and they were your kindergarten, pre-K age, so like you're 5 and up. So that was the only child engagement, direct engagement that I've had until I came to the child care center. But as of right now, it's been a great experience. I've learned multiple things from different groups of children that I've worked with, and we're still growing, right? So that's that. My final destination in the education career is what I mentioned earlier about my enrichment center. I definitely eventually want to be able to build more on that business plan of kind of what all that I will be offering, how would I get these services, and who am I offering and extending those services to. But yeah, so my enrichment center is my final destination. I do want to get some certifications and stuff in early childhood education, since my degree will be in business. Yeah, so that's the little academic tidbit. How old was I when I started? I was 18 turning 19, so now I am 21 years old. So my early adulthood was in early childhood field. A positive memory and a negative memory. Okay, I'm not gonna put all the business out there, and I'm gonna be positive tenfold. Okay, my positive memory has been I'm the planner, really. So I like planning like the holiday events, like the classroom events, all the things, right? So I would put on some part, and they be babies, and they be like 1-2 years old, and they don't really know what's going on, but it's fun for me. It's fun for me to know that y'all somehow is kind of engaging into these activities that I definitely worked hard to create. But I always try to make my activities, especially when I'm dealing with younger children, edible, so we don't have to be ducking and dodging, going over tables and stuff, trying to say, stop eating this, stop eating glue, stop eating this, right? So I make everything edible. So my positive memory is engaging with my children in whatever group during these parties that I have planned for them. A negative memory. I truly don't have a negative memory. I promise y'all. I'm not lying. I don't have a negative memory. The only negative that comes up is when I'm not personally prepared for the day. Okay? Because let me tell you something. Children smell fear. Okay? Yes, they do. They smell fear. They smell discombobulating, all the things, right? They smell fear. So if you come in and you've already had a day before you came to your shift, I need you to perk her up, because they will eat you up if you are not feeling it, if you're not on your best behavior, really. If you're not on your best behavior, they really the bosses. They really is who pay your bills for real. You feel me? Yeah. So it's really when I have a day before I come in for my shift that makes whatever situation negative. Is really based off of how I come in, because I'm telling you, it's just gonna make your day unnecessarily long. It's gonna make it unnecessarily long. Okay, that's really it. Okay, because ain't really no negative memory. Call me out on it, but I'm sticking to my story. Ain't no negative memory. A new year teacher advice. Like I said, I am pushing into my 3rd year as a child care provider. So as a new teacher that might be starting in the daycare system and then moving into the public school system, or private or whichever tier, I think the why is really something that you should have on your forefront, because I know we hear about it too many times, okay? Too many times during the professional development days, during the email blasts, during the text messages, during the hallway walks, during the side talks, during everything, okay? During every frustration, everything. Remember your why. Write down your why. What is your why? Share with the class your why. Okay? Your why. Just help me. Okay? I didn't ask that. I said, can you help me with this child? Nah, I'm playing. But my advice is to keep the bigger goal in mind. Okay? Just know that it's not just about you. It's not just about you. Because especially in the world that we are in now, education is getting a huge hit. It's one thing that you never would have thought that would have gotten a hit is education. So really just know that they deserve just as good as a chance or as best as a chance as you got. Okay? And you might not even thought that you got the best of a chance, to succeed in the world. But look, you know better, you do better. And you try to make this next generation as best as possible so we don't have to. That's the type of impact that teachers have the opportunity to bring. Okay? My mom is 52 years old. And she literally seen and went to go visit her 6th grade teacher until the end of her days. If that's not impact, I don't know what is. So little stuff like that is just making sure that you're impactful in the most positive way as possible. Because not necessarily why not, but if you're in the education game, yeah, why not? What are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you in the education game? Because the education game is not a job for it to just be a job. You gotta actually care for the children. I promise you, you gotta actually care for the children. Because if you don't actually care for children and you don't have a passion for children, it's not a job just to make money. Because we don't even make no money. But it's just not a job for you to just clock in, clock out, because it's work. Okay, educators on all levels put in work. Okay, they just put in work. That's just that. So, education or certificates, which one? Both of them. What do I need? Okay, what do I need? Me personally, from my experience and from my knowledge, it depends on what level that you want to be. Okay, what level do you want to accomplish in the education? So, at a daycare level, if you want to be the lead or the assistant, you need at least a CDA. At least. And I would have been really prepared if I was able to tell y'all what in the world CDA even stands for, because it is an acronym. But off the top of my head, I think it's Child Development Certificate. Do not quote me on that. I will put in the comments or in the description that answer specifically. But if you want to be a lead or assistant, you need at least a CDA at the daycare level. Some daycares do offer part-time positions like the one that I am at, and all you need is at least a high school diploma. But that's just a part-time job. So it might not be able to cover all the things that you might need it to cover. But those are the opportunities that you have with those specific positions at a daycare level. Subbing. If you are subbing for the education system, the public school system specifically, because I've never looked into private school subbing, you do need, well, let me not say that. It depends on where you are. It depends on where you are because different states do have different requirements. But for Georgia, you do only need a high school diploma. People say different things. But I know from a person that is a teacher in the public school system and like actually looking at the requirements, it does just say you just need a high school diploma. And of course, if you want to be an actual teacher, you need teacher hours. You got to be a student teacher and get hours shadowing another teacher in whatever districts and whatever level that you'll be at, right? And then after that, I think you have to take some tests and stuff. Then also have a degree paired with that, and able to get, the teaching position at whatever school that you're trying to get. But I'm going to end it off there. This is the first episode of Childcare Unlocked. I am so excited to get to know and that you all tuned in to the first episode of Childcare Unlocked. I am so excited to get to know my new teacher besties, my parents, and my students out there. I want to know about all of y'all as well. And just get ready to keep tuning in to Childcare Unlocked. We drop every Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And yeah, go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe, and get ready to become one of my new teacher besties. Bye. See y'all next week.